Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We are documenting the journey of amazing entrepreneurs, such as my new best friend, Stephen Moore, Real Wealth. How you doing, man?
Good, awesome. Thank
Beautiful.
you for the kind introduction.
I love your jacket. This is kind of a little Vegas-y kind of thing.
Yeah, this is the Vegas day. It's it's a holiday today, but
I know you're
breaking out the Vegas.
You got a little bit of green going on there, and I got a little bit of green, so we can't pinch each other. But tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you. I've not been here to the office pile before. It's like, wow. Pretty cool workspace. I like your ideas. I like the organization. I did read a little bit more about Entrepreneurs in Fuego.
Oh, good.
So I'm impressed. That's why I'm here. All right.
That's what we want to hear. Let me not. That's what I like to hear, or that's what we like to hear from people who have incredible legitimacy, such as yourself, which you do, because you've been in business, you've been an entrepreneur for the longest time, in different areas and in different environments and in different arenas, which we'll get to here shortly. But tell what is in your mind right now.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to tell you about right now is my company, Real Wealth Action Coach. Now, Real Wealth Action Coach is all about helping business owners, all right, at any level. Startup, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 15 year, 30 year.
How do we do that?
Well, we do that, and we're able to do that because Action Coach is a global franchise. It's a global coaching firm. We've been in business for over 20 years. Okay, it was started in Australia by a gentleman by the name of Brad Sugars. He then eventually brought it here to the United States. We're now in 59 countries, over 1,000 firms, and along the way, all that experience of coaching businesses, tens of thousands of businesses every day, every week, month, year, for over 20 years has been archived in our online platform that we utilize all the time.
What is the secret of their success? There's a lot of coaching companies out there, and I'm looking at you. You're the Phoenix man for this particular company, 53 countries, et cetera, started 20 years ago. What is the secret? What it makes this particular company different from other coaching companies?
Well, there is no secret.
Okay.
Number one.
No secret sauce?
No, there's no secret sauce. There's really, in life, there's no secret sauce to anything. There's step by step, right? We've heard people talk about, well, I have a dream. Cool. I have a goal. Wow. So I make a plan and I take action. That's supposed to be the formula, right? Yeah. That's how you're from anybody like a Brad Sugars or like a Tony Robbins, anybody like that. We say, crap. No, you're missing something. Okay, you have a dream, right? But a dream is not a goal until it's written down.
Correct.
Right? So now we have a goal. Now we have a plan. Let's make a plan. Okay, we make a plan. Now we take action.
You got to execute it. Otherwise, a plan is nothing.
Yeah, but we've left something out. Learn. Learn. Right. If you had a dream about a really cool bridge here in Phoenix, and you're like, wow, I got a dream. You make a goal, you write it down. You make a plan, okay, we're gonna build this, we're gonna raise money, we're gonna do it, and then you just take action. You build it, you take action. What happens to the bridge? It falls down. Because you didn't know how to do it. You didn't know how to hire the right engineers. You didn't learn how to do it in the first place.
You're bringing about the education component and the learning about what you're going to do, learning about what your goal is before you execute it. Right. Otherwise, that bridge is going to fall down.
Correct. It's so what we say, Action Coach, our vision is world abundance through business re-education. It's about set the goals, make the plan, but you have to learn. Business owners have to learn continuously throughout their entire life. If you look at our college organizations, what is the number one thing that drives any university? What activity that brings money into any university?
One would argue that it's perhaps sports.
Sports. What do they do in sports? They're coached. They constantly learn. Yep. They keep stats, and they grow as an organization. So right there is the perfect business model. Now what happens, you get your Bachelor of Science in Finance, you go get your MBA, and you go out and you start a business, and what happens? Exactly, nothing. Some guys are lucky, right?
Well, I think what is happening and where you come in, I believe, is with the educational component, is that you never stop learning, and is what I'm hearing. And
Right.
what you do through your coaching is that you're telling the business people at every level, as you said, is that you never stop learning, and so therefore, regardless of the goals that you have written down, you have to continuously learn and learn and learn and learn so that your bridge never falls down.
Correct. Now, one of the things that we like to talk about is people, when they start a business, they're really good at what they do. Okay, they're really good at what they do, but they're not really good at running a business. They've never ran one before. They've never learned how to do one before. That's where coaching comes in. That's where business comes in. We work on the business chassis. Okay, now with Action Coach, we have a premise. We have 6 steps to a better business.
Okay.
What is that? We have a bottom tier, mastery. Okay, what is my financial mastery? What's my destination mastery? What's my time mastery? What's my delivery mastery? Delivery mastery. You go to a restaurant, they spend like several $1 million on it. It's brand new. The food is, it's okay, but it's not served very well. And they go out of business.
And that is an amazing point.
We see it all the time here in Phoenix, right?
It is, you hit on something that is actually my pet peeve.
Right.
You go to these amazing restaurants that open up in Scottsdale,
Right.
and you can tell that they spend $2-3 million on improvements of this darn thing. And then the training for the number one contact that you have in a restaurant is who? The waiter or the waitress, right?
Correct.
They do not have uniformity. They are not trained in such a way that would render, if you will, that investment into a successful establishment. And that's frustrating.
So as a business coach with Action Coach, first we look at the first tier. We look at mastery. Okay, so we go from chaos in a business, and we start to put in systems, techniques, and accountability on a weekly basis, one-on-one with the business owner, and we start putting in control so they can gain some control. They can gain some control of their time, the delivery of their product, their destination. Do they have a vision? Is it written down? Do they even know what the vision is? Does everybody in the company know what the vision is?
Right.
Okay, so we delve into those areas a little bit, then we start working on niche. Well, what is niche? Ooh, that's a really cool word. What does it mean? What's my unique selling proposition?
Sure.
If I'm in business and I'm selling based on price, I'm a commodity. Unless I got billions of dollars in backing, I'm going to go out of business.
Right.
If all I'm selling on is in price, there's nothing unique about me. So we develop what is unique about your business. Doesn't matter how big, how small. And then we also in niche, we work on guarantee. What is your unique guarantee that nobody else has? Right? That's the next area that we work in.
You have this, the first question that I have, it all sounds good.
Yeah.
Can I afford it?
Can you afford it? Can you not afford it?
Can I afford it? Is it
Right.
very expensive to me to have something like this, or?
Well, here's people that are watching this tape
Yeah.
and business owners that are out there. As they're watching this, 80% of them are going to go out of business at a certain point.
That's true.
It might be 1 year, it might be 2, it might be 3, it might be 10.
Yep.
It's an ironclad data fact. Okay? So unless you are investing to learn how to work on your business instead of just in your business chasing your tail,
Fair enough.
what are you going to do? So here's something unique to Action Coach that we have. We have a 17-week, 7-point guarantee. Your investment in Action Coach will pay for itself within the first 17 weeks, or we will coach you for free until it does. It's in writing. That's what we do. You can go on the internet. You can see it.
That is good, and I think that's your proposition right there, because this is the first time, and believe me, I've interviewed a lot of coaches and everything else, but this is the first time that I've heard somebody coming in with any kind of guarantee, and this is, hey, look, if it is not working for you in 17 weeks, then we will continue to work it until you become
the reason we can do that, because it will work.
Yeah,
if you do the work, we hold you accountable. We give you the systems. We give you the advice. We give you whatever it is at that time based on our Action Coach systems, but more importantly, based on my 30 years of experience of being in business.
30 years of experience. Over 30 years of experience being in business.
Yeah.
What other businesses did you do?
Well, I've only really been employed once. And it was when I was in high school, and I worked for U-Haul. It was a neighbor that
don't count.
owned a U-Haul. You know what? It was a really great experience. I learned a lot. Other than that, I worked at my dad's restaurant when I was a little kid. But he didn't have that forever, and after that I worked at U-Haul, and I wouldn't consider being a little kid being employed.
Right.
But my first real job was with U-Haul. I learned a lot. I learned about, taking money, being on time, working, doing all kinds of jobs I never imagined. I learned accountability. Okay, after that, I was in college. I dropped out halfway through. I became a roadie.
Any
Showco
any group roadie for any group that we may recognize?
We did. Actually, I've worked for a zillion. Well, I'm not gonna say I worked for them, but we did sound systems and light shows at state fairs all across the country.
Okay.
So I did that for a year or so, and then I got into audio. I became a recording engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. I broadcast Phoenix Symphony live to KHAP for several years.
Right.
I did all the demos for, or not all, but I did a lot of demos for Judas Priest. I did the first 3 albums for Lyle Lovett. He's a country folk recording person. Made a lot of great contacts. Then I got into video. I'm like, wow, you know what? I'm making a lot of money doing the audio thing. I'm in my early 20s, but I kind of peaked. It's like there's not really a whole lot more.
You're peaking in your 20s.
I'm peaking in my early 20s. Well, in my mind, I'm peaking because I'm making this much per hour, but and you're working 100 hours, that type of thing a week, and you're like, well, I don't want to do this when I'm 60, or when I'm 50. I don't want to work 100 hours and only get paid by the hour or have a little small percentage of a cut of something. So I started working in video because I'm like, these guys make more money.
Right.
So I did that at night. Somebody said, can you produce something for us? And of course I lied, and I said, yeah, sure, why not? Then I called some buddies.
Then you worry about it.
And at the time it was a place called Channel 12 Gannett here in Phoenix, and at night I'd sit in, I'd see how it's done, I learned, and I'm like, wow, I can do this. This is easy. This is easy. So I did that, and then I started a video duplicating company. Found out 3 years later it was sold to a public company because they said we had 85% market share. I didn't know it. It was really running itself because I had systems in place. I didn't know what systems were, but we were evidently doing it right. Then eventually I stumbled into meeting some people. Can you do an infomercial? I'm like, oh, of course we can. I don't know what an infomercial is. At the time, they were an hour long. This is the mid-'80s. First one I did was Winning at Blackjack with Bobby Singer. It was a great hit. I did a couple of real estate infomercials after that. After that, I met a guy by the name of Mike Levy in California, and we formed an infomercial company in the mid-'80s that eventually went public. We were a NASDAQ stock. We eventually were in 60 countries, 12 languages, over 1,200 employees. Over 2 billion, not million, 2 billion in sales. And then we merged with a company, a New York Stock Exchange company, who was, you're aware of the show Shark Tank? Sure. One of the original guys on Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. Well, he just happened to be the president of the company that we merged with. This was in the 90s. So while I'm not going to claim that I worked with Kevin on a day-to-day basis or anything like that, but we were in the same business. They wanted us, we wanted to be with them. And I did that up until 1998. And then I decompressed for a while because it went all crazy.
Infomercials were the whole rage. I mean, they still have, to be sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've personally directed, co-produced over 100 successful infomercials.
So you're worldwide. You're the one that I have to blame for me staying up and watching these things during my 80s and my 90s.
There's a lot of people that have bought stuff that we have sold. So then I met another guy who was a friend that I'd known forever, and we started another infomercial company, and we did it up to 2010. And then that's when the big trifecta happened for us. I was in other businesses. I was in aircraft acquisition, real estate, and commercial development, and a few other things. But the infomercial industry for us, we were in biz op. We were doing shows like how to make money using eBay and stuff like that. Sure. And that was on for like 10 years. It was a great experience. A lot of, we did really well with it. But in the 2009 area, the Federal Trade Commission re-regulated a lot of advertising. It affected us, and it just wasn't viable anymore, especially with the economy hit. Right. So for the first time in my life, I experienced a major downfall. Okay, so I had to go through a process of, wow.
How did you deal with it? On a personal level,
on a personal level, it was devastating.
Sure.
The way
a lot
that
of doubts?
What's that?
A lot of self-doubt?
A lot of self-doubt, a lot of tears, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling.
And the people around you, your family, everybody else.
Yeah. The main people that got me through it were my close family, my faith in God, and great attorneys who stuck with us and got us through it. The one thing I have to say through the whole experience, because it took about 4 years to wind it all up. I mean, this is a very, huge, complex mess that eventually happened.
Sure.
This is my real belief. If in 2010, if the partner that I had with that infomercial at the time, if we had a better documented vision right off the bat, we probably could have gotten through it. Because really, when all the downfall happened, we didn't have a clear, concise, written down vision that we knew and that everybody in the company knew about. We were just in the business to make money and produce infomercials. We didn't have a cohesive vision.
But that's a great story, because now you experienced the high highs, and now you're experiencing failure or defeat, if you will, in a very, very personal way. And it's affecting you and it's affecting your family.
Yeah.
But now you rise again.
Right.
And you reinvent yourself.
Right.
And now you have this amazing company, this amazing system in which you are not only providing the education and the coaching plan for businesses of all sizes, but also your life experiences, I am sure, play an important role in relating to, or people relating to you insofar as what to do with my business and where to take my business.
Right. That's exactly right. Now, as a real wealth action coach, I am under the ActionCOACH firm, with the global firm.
Sure.
I got the reason. Number one, I want to tell you why I chose ActionCOACH. The reason that I chose ActionCOACH was because in the early 2000s, Brad Sugars, the founder of ActionCOACH, I spent a week with him, and we were actually going to do an infomercial together. It didn't pan out. It wasn't the right time, but I had a blast up in Las Vegas with him. That's why I got the Vegas jacket.
I love it.
Excuse me. That's why
I love it.
That's why I have the Las Vegas jacket on today. Now that
And you got a little bit of green also because of
the
the St. Patrick's Day thing.
Yeah, exactly. and so, but I did learn a lot from him at the time. But I didn't think about, wow, why don't we get our business coached? And I should have. And actually, when I think about it, Brad should have said, do you have a coach for your business? And he should have recommended a business coach for us. So when we went through the downfall in the 2010 era through 2014, I was doing consulting for direct marketing companies up in Utah and that type of thing. And I hated it. Because I go in, I fix something, I get paid a big check, and there's like no reward.
No personal reward.
No, it's not like having a company. When you have a company, I don't care how small it is, how big it is, there's that high that you get of you've taken a step, you do some success, no matter what the level of it is, and you get this high, you get this like, yeah, and it takes you to the next level, the next level, the next level. You don't get that, I didn't get that out of consulting.
What's the best advice you're going to give people watching this, entrepreneurs watching this? What is the best advice? Based on all your life experience, over 30 years of experience, having experienced what you have experienced, summarize it. Best advice.
It's very simple. It's the same as the college sport programs and professional sport programs. You need a coach. On some level, you need a coach. Now, can all businesses, would they be able to invest the amount of money to get one-on-one coaching? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, but we have programs for every level of business owner.
All right.
The main advice that I could give is to read. Have you read the E-Myth? Are you not just going to seminars and being in a big crowd and all of a sudden you sign a contract for 30 grand and you're like, oh my God, what'd I do? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real business coaching. As a business coach, we offer a free business assessment. Okay, I will meet with any business owner. And they'll fill out a little bit of paperwork. We'll do a couple phone calls. I'll meet with them for 2 hours. In that 2-hour meeting, whether we move forward or not, they're going to get value, they're going to learn something, and they can apply it to their business. But more importantly, they may make the decision to go ahead and get one-on-one business coaching. So the best advice that I can get is call a coach. If you don't call ActionCOACH, if you don't call Real Wealth Action Coach, or if you want to go to my site, realwealth123.com, come to my seminars. They're free. They're lunch and learn. I have all kinds of programs that I'm implementing. I'm having an action club that I'm going to be implementing. We may, maybe we'll get together and hold something like that.
This is mi casa es su casa.
But there's all. What I'm saying is that it's all about education. It's about knowing what to do and having somebody hold you accountable to get there.
What fuels your fire? Because you got all this energy and everything else, and and I talk to you and I get inspired, and I get, it's infectious.
Well, that's because success is infectious. So you can be in a way, as a business coach, we're a little bit of voyeur. We live through our clients. I have clients. I have one client in particular that I started with last August. And it's a big company. I mean, it's a $15 million a year company. It's a very large company. And he thought that, yeah, I've got it made. He had the worst sales team in the world. It took me, just showing him what was going on. Let's look at the numbers. You say you got a great sales team. Let's look at the numbers, like sports. You got a great quarterback. You got a great cornerback. Let's look at his stats. Let's look at the numbers. Baseball. Let's look at stats.
Yep.
Oh, he doesn't look so good, right? So we did that. And he goes,
but it took somebody like you to make him
right,
realize
because we look at the business from the outside. He's in it. And we teach in coaching how to look at your business from the outside in, eventually on your own with the assistance of a coach. But you've got to work on the outside in, and you have to work on your business instead of in it all the time. Okay, so now I'm just going to make up a fictitious name. No, I'm not, because you can go to my site, you can read about it. His name is Lou. Got rid of the sales team. This is the end of last year, 2015. All of a sudden, in the second quarter, his yearly goal of where he thought we would be, we already accomplished that in it's the end of the first quarter, we're coming up on it. In the end of the first and a half quarter, we're going to exceed his whole entire 2016 goal, because it was very simple. We had to get rid of some toxic people, we put the right people in, and then guess what? We hold them accountable, we give them systems, we give them operations on how to do things, we hold them accountable, and guess what? Things start to happen. It's not magic, but it is a step-by-step process. It's not simple. I mean, excuse me, it is simple, but it's not easy.
Right.
Okay, that's the point.
And nothing is easy.
Right.
Stephen, and that's the whole purpose of this show, is to make people realize that things are not easy. They could be simple, but not easy. It takes work. It takes dedication. It takes devotion. It takes the ability to fall down, but fall back up again.
When you work with us, when you work with Action Coach, and if I'm coaching you one-on-one, we require that you work on your business just to start a minimum of 5 hours a week. So as a businessman, if you can't devote a minimum of 5 hours a week of learning and implementing goals and systems into your business, then why are you in business? Because you're going to go out of business. That's the whole point.
You're going to come back and do some seminars, man.
Anytime. That's what I do. I love talking to business people. I mean, it's just, I'm a business person myself. It's,
only if you wear this Vegas jacket.
I know, we'll pull out some other jackets. We'll have even more fun.
And with that, we're out.